callers, and then we look at other issues and conclude.
All right. We have all agreed unanimously that extrajudicial killing is unlawful, whether masterminded by government authorities or their agents or individuals in form of mob action. Insofar as such killings are now sanctioned by judicial proceedings or judicial process, then it's unlawful and shouldn't strive in our society. And then we equally note that some of the challenges, the causes of this has to do with culture of impunity, where very few officials are formally charged or prosecuted for killing people unlawfully. And then the problem of public distrust. We have a weak judicial system. It fuels reliance on mob justice or jingle justice, as the case may be. So, just like the other caller noted, situations where people are arrested by the police and without transparent investigation or prosecution, they are the next day seen on the street. It has a way of fueling distrust in the minds of the people as far as the system is concerned. Then we have judicial limitation. I talked about the issue of leaky target, and then the panel that was constituted across Nigeria to handle cases of police brutality and human rights violation. Most of these panels, their recommendations remain unimplemented, and there is nothing. In fact, the report is just gathering dust. We have equally gaps in our legal structure. So we have challenges with the system. Some of our courts are understaffed. Some of our law enforcement agents are employed, as the case may be. There is no motivation for our officers to do their job. And contrary to some of the notions some of the callers had, there are some efforts in addressing some of these security challenges around us. Just that we need to, improve, and then motivate personnel who are sacrificing their lives for us to sleep well as a people. So, some of the challenges are so many with us. And why this is a problem is that extrajudicial killings undermines the rule of law. It bypasses the legal system. So instead of following the legal, system to ensure that a culprit is meted out the due, punishment, once you kill that person through extrajudicial means, you are bypassing the legal system. And then it promotes impunity. The more we allow it to strive around us, the more offenders go unpunished, the more there are no trials, the more other people are encouraged to embark on this dastard act. And then it violates human rights. So it denies justice to victims and their families. So, like our brother who was killed, if justice is not meted out to atone for his death, then the family will never have peace as far as their brother was murdered without justice. And then it destroys public trust in the system. People lose faith in our security institution. People lose faith in the judiciary. So we really need to strengthen and make strong enforcement of our legal reforms. There have been legal reforms, but we need to have strong legal reforms that will checkmate issues of extrajudicial killings. And then reparation and compensation for victims is one of the solutions I advocate for. For the victims who have either died or some lost their limbs in the course of all these acts, they should be compensated, or their families be compensated. And then we need transparent investigation and prosecution. At the time of arrest, at the time of investigation, the process should be transparent so that members of the public will have confidence in the police, in the civil defense, in the army, depending on which security agency of government is involved. And then we need to boost capacity building within the police and the judicial system. There is every need for training and retraining. There are evolving issues or trends, and our officers need to be updated on modern ways of fighting crimes, on modern ways of checkmating some of these extrajudicial acts, because with the new generation, a lot of thinking, a lot of thoughts, are coming up. So there is every need for our security agents to be trained and then motivated to do their best. There are worrying figures. about extrajudicial killings in Nigeria. From 2020 to mid-2023, the Sun newspaper reported 848 lives were lost to extrajudicial killings. 2020 to mid-2023. And then human rights violation report by Punch points to the fact that between January 2024 to April 2025, 3,584 killings and kidnapping took place in Nigeria. That's just a tip of the iceberg. If we go to the unreported cases of extrajudicial killings, then we know that we have a very serious situation at hand. So government must wake up. The people must appreciate the fact that life is precious. Life is so sacrosanct that even you as an individual, you don't have the right to take away your life. When you attempt that, you'll be charged for attempted, suicide. So for you, even a parent, you do not have control over the life of your own children. When you take the life of your child, you will be charged for culpable homicide or murder, as the case may be.
All right.
So Nigerians must appreciate this fact.
All right. To give your concluding words, I would like you to speak to the citizen, because most of the submissions seem to be focused on government and the institutions of government, the police and other law enforcement agencies. What can we do to instill the consciousness on the part of citizens to discourage these mob actions that we have and Jungle Justice Act being perpetrated?
Now, Nigerians must appreciate the fact that Nigeria is not lawless. We have laws, and there are sanctions for violating these laws. So for citizens, you do not have a right or any justification to take the laws into your hands. There are sanctions, and when you are arrested, you will have a day in court. If you kill someone, that's murder, and the punishment is death sentence. So there's no two ways about it. So we must desist from death sentence.
If found culpable. Because sometimes the courts investigate and still proves otherwise.
In fact, that's why I emphasize the issue of transparent and thorough investigation and prosecution.
Right.
Now, we really need to train our officers. You have situations, if you go to most of our inferior courts, the magistrate area courts, they are manned by ordinary police prosecutors. You can't prosecute in a matter where either a senior advocate or a well-trained lawyer is defending the suspect. There is no balance, because your 6 months of training at the police academy, or depending on the duration of time there, does not equate you to the status of the training a lawyer received. So you see that there is that challenge. That's why I must call on the Benue State government. In other states, only lawyers prosecute for the police. Only lawyers. Right. So we need trained lawyers to handle prosecution, even in our lower courts. So that at the end of the day, there is that balance in terms of professional training. A situation where a police officer who underwent training at the police, any of the training schools for 6 months, and then is prosecuting with a lawyer who took 5 years to study law, went to law school for 1 year. It doesn't match up, So there are some situations where you may have a very strong case, but if you have an incompetent person prosecuting, you will not secure conviction, because proof in criminal cases is proof beyond reasonable doubt. And that burden is more on the prosecution than the defense. The defense is just only coming in to create doubt in your case that I never did it. So it is you who establish that. For instance, if someone is killed, or maybe someone is raped, for instance, and then there were no medical examination to ascertain the cause of death or whether the person was raped within 24 hours in case of rape, or 48 hours, some of the evidence may be tampered with. Rape may have happened. Right. But you may not have the evidence to prove that.
We're totally out of time. Maybe one of these days we'll take up a discussion on dispensation of criminal justice in our country, and maybe the bottlenecks that are there, or we'll address them in a separate conversation. For today, this is how much time has permitted us on today's edition, which we focused on stemming the tide of extrajudicial killings in the country. I appreciate very deeply my sole panelist on the program. He's a legal practitioner, a public affairs commentator based here in Makurdi, Barrister Timothy Amatimi. Thank you very much for your valuable insights on the subject matter.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, dear listener, that's our program today. Join us next week, Monday, for a fresh edition. My name is Nathaniel, and have yourself a great weekend. Goodbye.